Hi, my name is Sierra Wright. I am in the first year of my master's program in microbiology and cell science at University of Florida, and I'm going to be explaining the diphtheria toxin mechanism. The information for this presentation has been summarized from the publication shown below. Alrighty, so a quick overview of the basics of diphtheria toxin. It is synthesized by toxinic strains of Corynebacterium diphtheria, which is the cause of the disease diphtheria. However, only the toxigenic strains encoded by a prophage produce the diphtheria toxin. It's made up of three domains: catalytic, transmembrane, and native receptor binding domain. It is an AB type toxin, so the B subunit, which contains the T and R domains, bind to heparin binding epidermal growth factor, HBEGF, and insert into the endosome membrane, causing pore formation, an essential step of intoxication. The A subunit, which carries the C domain, catalyzes ADP ribosylation of elongation factor 2. The ADP ribosylation of elongation factor 2 causes inhibition of cellular protein synthesis, causing cell death and apoptosis. Okay, so here's a visual representation of diphtheria toxin entry into eukaryotic cell cytosol. So here in the red you have the catalytic domain, here's the green, the transmembrane domain, and yellow is the receptor binding domain. So diphtheria toxin binds to its cell surface receptor and is internalized into the early endosomal vesicle, shown here. Upon acidification of the endosomal lumen, shown in step 3, the transmembrane domain of the toxin undergoes a spontaneous dynamic reorganization and inserts into the membrane, forming a pore, right here, through which the C domain, the catalytic domain, is delivered into the cytosol, shown here. After a conformation change, so it kind of goes from looking like this, transfers to the pore, and ends up looking like this. The C domain is refolded into an active conformation, and it catalyzes the ADP ribosylation of EF2, shown here. On the right is a close-up representation of the insertion of the transmembrane domain into the endosomal vesicle, forming this pore, and then the binding of the COPI complex, shown here, and here is shown the binding site in that blue, facilitates the translocation of the catalytic domain through the pore, causing that ADP ribosylation, which then inhibits protein synthesis and causes cell death and apoptosis. So that is how diphtheria toxin mechanism works. Thank you so much for listening.